I don't know, man. I think being older is cooler, right?
No.
Why not? I feel like it's like you're young. No one respects you.
I'll tell you exactly.
No one
why
respects
not.
you when you're young.
Okay, like I'm in a decent outfit right now. I got some decent shoes on.
It's a fire outfit.
That's fine. I look fine, right? You know what I did earlier today? I woke my wife up at 10 o'clock. I took her to Waffle House, and I was wearing Crocs and socks.
Always be friends forever.
Welcome to Your Only Friends, where friendship is first, but comedy is always. I am your host, Jared Dykas. This is a reminder, we are your only friends. I have some bad news. The first 9 minutes of this Jander Gray episode has been disappeared, evaporated into the ether, and we have no idea where it is. We're starting this podcast off at a random moment in time. For context, Jander is one of the first people that I connected with at the club that was very nice to me, that was, in comedy a lot longer than a period than I was at that time. And I wanted to invite him onto the show because I think he's a stand-up guy. And, I hope you really enjoyed the episode. It was a great one.
I'll be your only friend. I'll be your only friend.
Our scene, like here in Tampa or St. Pete, we have side splitters in our backyard, right? It's like right there, and some of the best comedians from all around the world, go to that club.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this scene, the Tampa Bay, St. Pete, Tampa comedy scene? In order, for the average comedian, in terms of open mics, showcase opportunities, how would you rate this scene?
Like, clearly we have a lot of great stage time opportunities. I mean, there's so many people booking indie rooms and shows and doing their own kind of vibe. Like, I know Bob Holden's got he's got the St. Pete shows. Kenny's got this. We've got so many clubs. But this being the only scene I know, it's really hard for me to gauge. I went out of town and went to other people's scenes and stuff and seen what they're doing, and not enough to really compare it. But Orlando's got a fantastic scene too.
I hear great things about Orlando.
Yeah, dude, they've got a lot of really, really strong comics out there. I mean, they really do. So, but I think the Tampa scene is really good. I mean, there's plenty of opportunity to start and be good here. And I think Tampa's really great for that.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, I think Florida is a terrible place to be a comedian.
Yeah.
It's terrible for that because it's just so touristy and old is really the problem with being a Florida comic.
What do you feel like your preferred state would be in terms of if you had to move Florida, like you literally had to get the hell out of here?
Dude, I have no idea.
If you had to move to another state, you want to know?
Really, being up in the Midwest is, probably terrible. But, you could probably do, something in Ohio if you're a strong road comic, and it would be great because you're driving distance to so much stuff.
True that.
So if you're already pretty well established, you could go up there and be fine. But if you were trying to start in Cincinnati, it'd probably be pretty hard.
Exactly.
It'd probably be pretty hard. Shout out to Cincinnati.
Shout out to Cincinnati.
Know, y'all.
No, I don't know that either, but I always think about that because I hear, sometimes people at open mics, talk about fascination with this place or that place, and they'll shit on this scene. And I kind of personally, I don't know. I feel like there's enough opportunity. There's all these different shows. There's a lot of opportunities, like you said, to get stage time. I don't know myself about many other scenes, but it just seems like this is a fucking cool place to do comedy. Is all I mean by that. And the fact that Side Splitters is right there makes things interesting because then, like we were talking about, you can go see one of the greats and even potentially work with some really cool people.
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely. That's definitely the gem of Tampa Bay is going out to everybody getting to go to a mic that Louis was just at.
Exactly.
Is pretty cool to have right in Tampa. I'm sure in New York it's not that big a deal because he's right there anyway.
Exactly.
But yeah, for us that is nice. Ari and everybody that comes through there. I mean, it's one of the best clubs in the country.
Definitely.
So to have that in our backyard,
Yeah.
and everybody that's coming into the scene is working and hoping to aspire to get to play there and get to work with those guys.
It's like Hogwarts or something for like comedians. It's like
Yeah.
we're trying to get in. I don't know.
Yeah, there's just no headless Nick on the the headshots are just dead comedians instead of ghosts. This guy played this room in 1986. That's so sad.
Oh my god.
It's
That
so
is
sad. It's so true. That's one of the fun things about comedy clubs too, dude, is going and walking and looking at all the really bad headshots.
Oh my gosh.
It's so much fun. It is like a museum tour.
It
Because
is.
you could tell, you're like, this dude's probably not alive.
Oh my god.
like look, he's like 40 pounds overweight. It's 1984. There's no way that dude's
Dude.
alive.
That's like in real estate. There's agents that I know that will use like headshots from the 80s, and I'm like, it's like 2025. We gotta,
Dude, you know what's wild too is like even if you update your headshots,
Yes.
like I have updated headshots and clubs still use my old ones from like 2014. And I'm like,
They have
come
it on
on, man.
file. The same marketing person just is like,
I don't
I'm
look
making
that crazy different, but like a lot of times now that I'm seeing that as a comic, I wonder sometimes if it's not the comedians or their management doing it. It's just like the club's just like, this is the one we got, man.
Yeah, this is what we got on file,
Yeah, and
brother.
they just throw it up there.
In terms of comedy, when you think of like comedy as a whole, there's stand up, there's like, other pockets of comedy. Is there any other outlets besides stand up that, maybe fascinate you? Like, have you ever thought of like doing sketches one day, or is it specifically just stand up is what Jander likes?
Yeah, I don't know. I grew up as like training as an actor when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But by the time I was 19, I hated it.
Really?
So,
Wait,
yeah.
what? Talk to me about that.
Oh, dude, it was like, it was like, I think I was 19 when I did my very last acting audition. And it was
What
just,
was your very first?
Oh, I can't even remember.
Nuh-uh.
Like I did plays and stuff. I
Oh,
never
that's
did
cool,
anything
though.
important.
But still, that's cool. So you
Yeah.
were like naturally like theatrical.
Oh yeah, I was a
and-
theater kid my whole life.
Oh, that's cool.
That's why I was getting knives put up to my throat in
my
seventh
God.
grade.
Oh my god!
were-
I thought you were in seventh
They
grade
were like,
as
let's
the
beat up the
badass.
theater queer.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you were like, I'm getting in like 7 fights a
No,
day. I'm
I
like,
mean,
I'm
no.
thinking like you're just crushing kids.
I did learn to fight back. That's
good,
Because
that's
like at some
good.
point you're like, I think, man, I got so humbled in middle school with
Oh, my
fights.
God.
It was so wild because like by the time I went to high school, I ended
Mm-hmm.
up going to like some township high school that was nice. And those kids were pussies.
Oh, my
And I
God.
was just flexing on dudes that were way bigger than me because they would never fight. And I
Oh,
was like,
my
once you
God.
figure out that no one will fight at your
Yeah.
school, you're just like, oh, I'm fucking king
Yeah,
shit now.
dude, yeah.
I'm gonna be an asshole all day.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, seventh grade was brutal, dude. It was rough out there.
But-
I got body slammed one time in art class.
How?
This littler kid than me started fucking with me, right? And I was like, well, I could take that, kids, all right? So I just go over and start blasting him up, right?
In art class?
Yeah, in art class, because I'm like, all right, we'll stand some ground here
Oh
and
my
establish that I can't be fucked with in my art class, right? But then his homie came over after I beat him up, and I had done like. No, I was walking up to the teacher's desk to like get art supplies, and this dude came up behind me and just wrapped me up in his arms and picked me up and just threw my
Oh
ass
my
on the
God.
ground. Right, and it was like the hard ass tile floors and shit.
Oh.
And that was the first time I ever had the experience of like my body didn't respond to my mind. You know what I mean? Because in my head I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna get up and kick this.
Yeah.
And my body was like, nah, you're not getting up.
Oh my
I was
god,
like, oh.
dude.
Yeah, I was messed up, dude.
Oh man, your art class sounds like a prison yard, man.
It was tough, dude. After that, I had to cut that art class for pretty
My
much
God.
the rest
and
of the
just
half of
watch
the year.
more stand up.
No, sometimes I had to actually go to school, and I would just walk around the hallway and try to not get caught for cutting class.
Oh my god. Why were you so troubled as a kid?
I wasn't, man. I was just in a shitty school.
It's not me. It's society, bro.
Single
It's-
mom too.
it's
I mean,
system.
it was single mom, bad school,
Oh, man.
poor kid too. I looked like shit. I didn't have haircuts. I didn't have
man.
clothes.
Oh.
And you know how kids are. They're brutal. If you don't got some nice kicks and a haircut, other kids are like, "Fuck this kid."
Yeah, exactly.
Poor ass motherfucker. Like, why what's this class war shit about? It's 7th grade, dude. Like, my mom's a waitress. What do you want me to do?
Dude.
I can't get a job.
Yeah.
I'm 11.
Oh my God.
I don't know how old 7th graders are.
For the record, that's a good thing, actually.
Yeah, it'd be creepy if I knew,
It'd
right?
be creepy.
Yeah.
The average 7th
Well, my last
graders-
girlfriend was an 8th grader, so I guess let's do the math.
Oh my God. So when you do comedy, is there anything that you like to do before, during, or after, like when you're going out to the clubs? Like, do you have any rituals, any things that you're like superstitious about, just any things that you do at the club?
I don't think so, man. I do like pretty religiously, even if I'm doing like my like established feature set or something. I always look at my set list because
Okay, that's great.
I always want to have an idea of this bit kind of rolls into this bit and this bit chunks into this. So
And do you write it for each set, or is it more like you have set lists?
The first 5 or 6 years I was in, I wanted to physically write it down because honestly, if you physically are writing stuff down, you do remember it better.
Absolutely.
But now I do everything on my phone, just notes app.
Yeah.
And, sometimes I'll screenshot my set list and put it on my phone just so I can peek at it or whatever. And it's really kind of a crutch because like I don't need it.
Oh,
Like-
you
like,
really.
they're all in there, but it does help sometimes if you're doing if you know you're doing a lot of new stuff, if you know you've got premises and new lines that you're trying to get in there. So, but that's definitely unique to everybody. But I don't really have like, I don't know. I feel like baseball players have superstitions.
Yes,
and shit.
that's definitely.
Yeah, I don't. That would be weird.
That would
if I had
be
to, like,
weird.
kill a chicken before my set.
If you had to kill a chicken, Jared. Every time
Yeah,
I
kill
go
some
up
McNuggets
and
after the show. I'm guilty of that, obviously.
dude, that's funny. That is funny. Yeah. So I mean, I was just kind of curious. One thing that I do, I like always listen to music in the car before. I don't know. I'm just like thinking about things that I do before comedy shows.
That's true, because you do have to like put
If
yourself.
I'm not energetically, like if I'm
Yeah.
not wanting to have fun,
Right. I will listen to hyped music on the way to a show.
like DMX.
Just anything that's like got you upbeat
Yeah.
in a good mood. Because if you're like listening to like down shit,
Yes.
you know, it's like I've heard other comics talk about that too. Just like you can't be depressed and walk into the club,
No.
and then try to be fun.
No.
Which that's one of the harder parts about doing comedy too, dude. Is like a lot of times you're going through shit. And you
Yeah.
still got to show up and deliver, you know. I don't know if you know Johnny B from around here, but Johnny told a story about like his dog died and he had to go to the Improv and still,
Oh, man.
you know, perform like an hour after putting his dog down, you know.
Oh my God.
And that's horrible to have. Like, how are you going to be funny after that?
Yeah, you
that's
can't.
tough. That's a tough spot.
That's tough.
But yeah, we've had some tough ones. I found out. Yeah. Okay. We'll
Is
skip that part.
no? Let me ask you this though: so you've been doing comedy like a lot longer than me. So I've already had to stop comedy one time, you
Yeah.
know, because I was like going through a career change, and you know, like that's like even the past 2 or 3 weeks, I've taken less shows and I've been not like going out as much to the clubs just because I'm in transparency fully busy with real estate. Over all these like years of you doing comedy, you know, talk to me about that balance of just like life, you know, because you just said it, you have kids, like
Yeah.
there's realness of life, and then still going out at night or where you like, talk to me about that balance.
That's honestly, if you're gonna be a comic, there is no balance. I mean, like you really gotta be obsessed and
Yeah.
be all in. And I'm kind of like always trying to get myself more hyped up to be more obsessed and go harder, which is really like this year.
Why is that? Because you just think that's what it takes in order to.
Yeah, you're not gonna get better if you're not obsessed and you're not trying to push yourself. Like if you just think that you're just inherently funny and inherently smart and that's gonna carry you through, you're fucking so delusional, dude.
Yes.
I mean, the push and like when people talk about the grind in comedy, it's kind of a joke, haha, grinding or whatever, but it's like, no, dude, you're going to be doing this every night for a long time. So, like, buckle up because you got to push through it, you know? And that's rough, but it's also fun to a degree. So I think if you don't have that motivation to do that, it's not going to be easy.
No, I've heard someone even say at the club, they were like, listen, I didn't want to come here tonight, but because I didn't want to come here, I had to come here. You see that? Like, you know, because it's just about pushing through and I guess continuing it with it even when you don't want to necessarily, right?
Yeah, you have to show up and you have to be funny regardless of how you feel about being funny or not.
If you're
and
depressed,
sometimes
sad,
it does.
things are going on.
Yeah, dude, sometimes there are shows where I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing this at all, dude. And okay, I did this one recently, and my wife did this show with me. We were down in South Florida, and it's maybe one of the most unprofessional things I've done for a long time.
God.
It's just after the show, we just went way too hard with a bottle of tequila. Just way too hard, dude. Like
you and your wife?
Yeah.
Oh
like,
my God.
We just destroyed this poor hotel room.
Oh my God.
And like we felt so bad. Like we fixed it, we cleaned it all up. It wasn't a problem, but we wrecked this room.
Oh my
And both of us,
God.
no recollection of what we did or how we got there.
Dude.
And it was rough because we were both like, she recovered pretty quick the next day because we still had more shows the next day.
And you say you don't feel like a rock star by doing comedy. Are you kidding me?
I didn't throw the TV out the window or nothing. But yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, we tore it up. And I was like, I was this close to like calling the booker and being like, dude, I'm not going to make it to this show because I was so tore up.
Oh my God.
Like I couldn't really walk very well. It's the most hungover I've ever been in my whole life.
Oh my God.
And my wife drives us to the show and I go up and I'm on stage and I'm killing. But I'm also like half in the back of my head, like I might puke right now, dude.
No.
Like I was like so close to just like.
Oh my God. Dude.
Yeah, all right, we're good.
Do you know how much time you were doing?
I did like half an hour.
Oh my God.
So it wasn't that bad, but like at the beginning of the set, was not feeling great. By the end of the set, I felt great again. So comedy, it does heal you.
Yeah. Holy shit.
The healing powers of making people laugh. But yeah, that was probably the I don't know how we got. That was one of the worst things I've done to myself for a long time.
And that
I'm
was
way too
kinda
old to be
recent.
drinking that much tequila.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was very recent. This was like 2 weeks ago. And I had a margarita last week and was like, ooh, flashbacks,
Oh my
bro.
God.
Like, yeah, I was
You
like,
can't even have tequila anymore.
no, I can. I'm good. I just had to push through like 2 margaritas and we were good again.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, you got to be careful with that. You know, it's easy to make mistakes and go hard sometimes. But you know, what are you gonna do? Sometimes you got to do some crazy rock star comedian shit.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
You got to trash a hotel room and vomit shrimp in the hallway. You know, it's like, what are we doing comedy for?
Oh my
If we're
God.
not gonna get like a little whiling out, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
It's kind of, I mean, that is kind of part of like the fun and allure of it to a degree. Like, I think everybody, when they start doing comedy, has that, you know, you hear road stories and you're like, oh, these are fun. All right. So you want to do those things a little bit, but you don't want to, I guess, so wasted that you can't tell jokes the next day.
No.
Like that was.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a bad look.
Yeah, I should probably apologize. And now that I've told that story, now that I've told that story in a podcast, I just want to say that's only happened one time ever. Like, I will
Oh my
show up and be
God,
funny
that's
at your
funny.
show.
That is hilarious. No,
yeah.
you did. You did.
I
It's
did. I
like
showed up. I actually had a better set than the
Yeah.
night before when I was fine.
It's like Flu Game, man,
Yeah.
with Michael Jordan.
I've done a couple of shows where I was ill and killed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
I can't. That would be really tough because I feel like when I'm sick, I'm delusional in the head.
I know.
And I'm
I know.
already delusional enough up there as a comedian, I feel like.
It's,
so
I don't know what it is. Like sometimes if your energy's off and you're just fully focused on the jokes. The audience is kind of vibes with it in a weird way. But it's like, I'm not trying to recreate that to be my modus operandi of comedy.
Yeah.
Or, you know.
Start injecting yourself
Yeah,
with
let me drink
sickness.
some Drano before this set so I feel terrible. And then I'll be really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't have a ritual, man. But music is definitely good. You definitely got to hype yourself up.
You just did a callback to the convo from like 5 minutes ago. I didn't even remember we were talking about the ritual still, but yes, that's what we were.
Yeah, yeah.
You have a good memory?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I mean, maybe.
I feel
don't
like
think I do.
I have a pretty bad memory, which is why I try to go up there sometimes with my, well, not sometimes, but most of the times with my set list and stuff.
You know what's a really fun one
But
somebody
I've
taught
also,
me?
go on.
Was write your set list on a little piece of paper and then write on the side of your beer, because the humidity, you can just stick your set list on the side of your beer.
No way.
I have used that trick before. And it's that thing. It's like, it's a security blanket. I never need my set list. I really am anti notes on stage.
Wow.
I don't think it's a good look. I don't think you should do it, particularly if somebody's paying you to do comedy. I think if you bring notes up, I mean, if you make it part of your act and it's kind of a gag,
Yeah.
that's fine. You know what I mean? But I think for the most part, you probably should not do it. And I always didn't do it, even open micing, because I knew I would have bad habits.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I mean, because open micing is practice, right? So
You're right.
if you're practicing, you don't want to have the crutches. But I have snuck them on the side of my beer before, and I've
Dude,
seen other
that's
comics
fucking
do it.
like some Skyrim type shit.
It's a cute
Elder
little trick on
Scrolls,
stage,
like-
because you can just be like, yeah, I'm just getting a drink, and then you just kind of look at it, and you're like, oh yeah, titties. Oh yeah, you guys like titties?
Dude, that is cool. I should have these. I should have that for the pod, right?
Just the whole bit.
Yeah, the
right?
whole bit.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going into cat jokes.
Yeah.
So you're hitting the Sunshine City Clearwater
Yeah.
Express tonight.
That's right. Yeah.
The Underground Railroad.
Yeah, we're doing the KG Express. We're gonna have to workshop that name, and then we should send him a list of like 6 names of what we're gonna call it.
That would be cool. Like they put up a graphic of all the comedians going back and forth and stuff. That's funny.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You're doing the Dark and Dirty show at Sunshine. Lance is there at Sunshine tonight. Marcus
Yeah.
Crespo is at Clearwater tonight.
Both of those guys monsters.
Yes.
Too.
I've
Yeah.
been hearing great things about Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus is a killer, and he's super cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's like, you can't beat that, dude. Like, when somebody is like a badass comic and they're a fucking awesome person, that's the best, you know?
Absolutely.
It was really hard to like somebody once you find out they're an asshole, too, so, you know.
Absolutely. Has that happened sometimes?
I've met a couple of comics where I was kind of like, maybe a little disappointed that they weren't, like, I don't know. It always freaks me out when comedians just aren't cool with each other. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, of all the things in the world you could have picked to done, this was like the coolest one to like
We
relax.
gotta stick together.
Right. And
Yeah.
like, just like, we're chilling, we're all telling jokes, we're being as dumb as you can possibly
We're
be.
all telling dick jokes up on
Right.
stage,
And some of these
right?
people are like higher than thou or
Yeah.
holier than thou. I don't
Yeah.
know words, you know?
No, I understand.
Yeah. I hate it when people aren't fun.
No, that's what I was saying. Like, I really appreciated the energy that you brought to, just like the club
Yeah.
that first couple times I met you and stuff. That's why I wanted to bring you on the show, and I
No, I
appreciate
appreciate that, man. Yeah, and I remember that because I very much remember how hard it was to start as a new guy. So like I'm real cognizant of that, and I remember. So I'm like very empathetic to new guys. Like I love to talk shop with comics. It's one of my favorite things because I'm always still trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? Because like it doesn't make sense.
I hear a lot of comedians say there's no right way to do comedy.
There is.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. They can't. Like I remember a lot of the people I started with would tell other people this is how you do comedy, and it used to piss me off so bad because I was like, oh, you're just telling them to do it how you do it. And that's not a great way to give somebody advice. Just let people be dumb the way they're dumb and let them stumble around in the dark and figure it out.
Yeah.
Because that's how you're going to get somebody that's actually unique and interesting.
Exactly.
Because if everybody's just trying to write like Anthony Jeselnik and Louis, then we're just getting a lot of dudes who sound like those guys.
Exactly.
So, like, let people be stupid and goofy and do impressions and puppets, whatever it is. Just let people do what they're doing, man. Like I always hated it when people were like, give somebody shit at the open mic for trying something that seemed goofy or hacky. I'm just like, let them do it, man.
Yes.
I don't know why.
It's part of figuring it out, right?
Yeah, and you know, at the very least, we can sit there and watch the guy bomb and be like, well, I'm not doing that.
Exactly.
I'm not doing a puppet act at the open mic, dude. It does not work. Yeah.
Dude, you know, cheers to that, brother.
Hey,
I
man.
love that, dude.
I love that too,
That was
man.
good.
Yeah, you got to let people be what they're being.
Unless if they're doing sock puppets on stage. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'll draw the line at the sock puppet.
The sock puppets.
I almost did a sock puppet bit. At open mic. I was writing one, and I was like, I'm just going to do it because I knew it would infuriate a lot of my comedian friends.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's kind of fun, too, sometimes.
That would be
Like,
awesome, yeah.
If you just know you're trolling your friends by doing some, like, super hacky goofball
Yeah.
shit, it's kind of fun
Oh,
sometimes.
absolutely. For open mic culture,
Right.
doing
And then
it
it
for
kills,
that.
and it really burns them
Oh,
up. Yeah.
dude. It's always so funny, like going to an open mic and it's just comedians, and it's like everyone's always like sitting there thinking about like, oh, when am I going up? When am I going up? When am I going up?
Yeah.
And it's funny when comedians will make like a joke that only like comedians will get, or not only comedians will get, but are funny to comedians and stuff like that. So I don't know. I just like open mics for that reason. You know, and also trying new shit. Do you try new shit not in an open mic ever? Because I heard you just say, like, if somebody's paying you, you don't even want to go up there with notes. So how do you feel about, like, new jokes?
I'll run new tags, and if I get the audience, like, in deep enough with me where I know we're good, I'll run premises, right?
Really?
Right at 'em,
Wow.
yeah. Because, like, they already like me. I've already...
Well, especially if you're doing 30 minutes.
Right.
It's probably a lot harder
You
to
have a lot more time.
Yeah.
But, like, really so much of comedy, like, when you're doing smaller sets, you barely have time to get the audience to trust you as a comedian. Like, 5 minutes is not really enough.
Yes.
Like, I've seen a lot of people, like, who they don't pop off with the audience immediately. It takes them a little time to get credibility with the audience. And in a host set, you know, a lot of times the first 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes is you building up to that.
Yes.
And by the end, they're like, oh, I really like this guy. And you're like, well, bye now.
Exactly.
So it's like you don't have time to try new stuff there.
No.
But yeah, if they like you, you can try new stuff. But I forever around here in the Bay just always go to open mics and do nothing but new stuff. I hate going to mics and doing stuff I know works at a show.
Really?
Yeah, but I got advice from senior comics that that's not a good idea. Because then I go out. Here's the thing with that. I think it's really kind of low rent for a working comic to go to an open mic with newer comics and just lay out like these bits that I know crush. You know, because one, you either crush off at an open mic and raise the stakes for all these new guys, and yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, you're showing everybody you're funny and whatever, and like that's important too in a way, but I don't know. I feel like it's kind of cheap. I feel like you should be in the trenches bombing with everybody else.
Dude, you know what, bro? Honestly, Jander, that's a great mindset, and like
I think so, but it has not served me well because everybody thinks I bomb all the time. and I'm like, bro,
you're right. Well, you know where it's hard for me is like, for example, last night, it was at Sunshine and I was hosting the open mic. So like, someone told me the other week, like, I should probably do new jokes even when I'm hosting the open mic. But because it was a check spot, you see what I'm saying? Bleeding from the headlining show.
Right. You're trying to
into
carry
the open.
over
I
a
was
little.
trying to, like, keep the crowd in there.
Which is exactly what you should do.
Okay.
That's exactly the
okay, because
you're the host. You're trying to keep that audience in so these new guys can get off the's work. So all's fair there. Crush.
Yeah.
I would do your A game stuff even.
yes,
You know?
try my best.
Yeah.
But no, there is an element of that too. Like when just doing open mics, like being in the trenches with everyone. I love that personally. Like even last night, it's like all the comics trying new shit, and it's like things that I haven't heard most of these guys say. It's just fun and interesting to me compared to maybe like sometimes knowing, you know, the jokes or the premises and all of that stuff. So there is something exciting in just like everyone gathering around, and it's like, yeah, this is what I was writing all week, and coming together and trying new shit.
Yeah,
right?
it is fun. Like when you're going to mics and you're established, you know everybody's cool. Because then you can at least, you know, talk to everybody after everybody does their sets and trade off ideas.
Exactly. Are you big into collaboration with like you try to like not collaboration, but I'm saying like are you pretty social when it comes to
like working on material?
Not working on material even. I'm saying when you're at the club, are you a pretty social guy?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love talking to everybody if I can, you know. I don't know. But I'm starting to get worried now because I'm like, I think the newer comics, I'm getting so old now. They're just like, oh, here comes that old guy.
Oh, dude, don't say that. You're not getting old.
The old hacky fat guy's coming over here.
Shut up, dude. I hope you're not serious, bro.
No, I mean, I am like now getting to the age where I'm like, am I old? Shit, I might be old. I don't even know anymore.
Dude, I think, I don't know, man. I think being older is cooler, right?
No.
Why not? I feel like it's like you're young. No one respects you.
I'll tell you exactly.
No one
why
respects
not.
you when you're young.
Okay, like I'm in a decent outfit right now. I got some decent.
It's a
shoes
fire
on.
outfit.
That's fine. I look fine, right? You know what I did earlier today? I woke my wife up at 10 o'clock. I took her to Waffle House, and I was wearing Crocs and socks. Being old's not cool,
dude.
But it is. I will give it this.
That sounds pretty. That is like the coolest
thing. I don't give a fuck. Like if I'm not doing a show, dude, I look like a dad.
That's sick, because you are a dad.
I am a dad. Yeah,
you are a dad.
Just show up with my Crocs and socks at the show.
Crocs and socks, man.
Yeah.
What color are the Crocs?
They're black at least.
Okay,
you know?
okay.
So they're not
like yellow or orange.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, if they were orange. Like the only people wearing orange Crocs at the Waffle House should be the fry cook, because he just got out of jail. You know what I'm saying? I'm explaining the jokes now.
Oh my god, dude, that's funny.
Yeah.
Dude, so your wife is a comedian.
Yeah.
What is that like?
You know, I don't know. It's great for the most part because like
you guys obviously have very real conversations and very
our chemistry is so amazing, dude. So I'm very fortunate in that. My advice would be for any comedians: do not date another comedian. like don't, because I was always scared to do that. I really never pursued anybody to do that because all I saw was like, oh yeah, I'll date this person for a week and then I'll have to listen to them do bits about me for 3 years.
Oh my god!
You know what I mean? And like that's a nightmare, right? So
yes.
I was like, I really did not want to do it. Like the first couple times, like Lauren and I were kind of getting together and feeling each other out. The first couple times when I noticed we had chemistry, I was kind of like, I'm not doing this.
Oh,
you know what I
my
mean? I was just like, I'm
God.
not, because it's going to go south, you know, because everything's always great when you first start dating somebody. But our chemistry is truly so great. Like we are together all the time. We're never sick of each other.
Aw.
And we're always laughing and cutting it up.
Oh, dude.
And she's the meanest. No, I'm
Yes.
just kidding. She's the sweetest. But she is like her roasting skills, bro.
Yeah.
She like when
I've seen her like roast the crowd, but she's like,
we did a roast battle. The Tampa Bay was doing Tampa Bay Roast League a couple years ago, and they had us in different brackets, and we ended up getting to the top together.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, it was me versus her, and I did not think we would get there, so I didn't write any jokes about her, and she just eviscerated me. It was,
wait, where was this?
I did like one. I repurposed one killer joke that I had about another girl on the show, and that was the only punch I got on her the entire set.
Oh my god!
They did it at 8-bit.
Oh no way!
Yeah,
Very cool.
Dick Roos and Johnny B were running
Dick
it.
Roos is the man, bro.
Dick is my homie, dude.
Dude, I got to do New Year's
guy.
with him, bro. He's the fucking.
He's great,
funny
man.
as shit, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out Dick Roos, man.
Yeah,
That's
shout
my
out
guy.
him.
We do the Hot Mess show together.
Yes.
And he really he carried me for a long time and gave me a lot of opportunities and helped me get
That's
better
awesome,
as a comic.
man.
Yeah, he really picked
He
me up.
seems like a St. Pete legend in the sense with the whole tattoo
Dude,
shit and everything, bro.
He's
He's
a
just
killer,
like a
dude. He's
cool
such
guy.
A killer. Yeah, he's super cool guy, great dad, super sweet, absolutely one of the funniest people on the planet,
Yeah.
without a doubt, and does not get his due.
No,
He does
he's
not.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
He's really cool.
Yeah, he's great. But now that we've glazed him properly,
Yeah.
let me say some mean shit about him. It's fun when we work together because I had a bit about him for a long time. And like he always comes up after me and he's like, that bit's about me.
Oh my god.
and it totally is. Yeah. It was, we were drunk driving my minivan one time.
Oh
and
my lord.
got a little bit rowdy.
With your kids in it?
No.
Okay, good.
No, edit that part out.
Okay,
No,
we can,
No,
we
it
can.
wasn't. We were going a little bit hard coming back from the Tampa Improv one night.
Oh man.
Hanging out the sunroof,
No.
driving down the Howard Franklin.
Oh, my God.
It was a good time, man.
Dude.
But those were the days.
Those were the days.
Yeah, that was like 6 months ago. We've grown up a lot. We've grown up a lot since then. So,
That's funny, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Jander, it's been a fucking
yeah, I agree, man. This has been super fun. Thanks for having me
yeah,
on, man.
this has been fucking fun, man.
Yeah.
I would love to get you and your wife on at some point as
Yeah,
well.
she'd
we're,
love to come in.
we're finding out. You see those two mics over there?
Yeah.
Tomorrow, we might have a situation. Lance Weiss is going to be filming a podcast in here, I think, with DC and his friend Brennan.
Okay.
And we're going to figure out like more mic situations. So I'm going to start inviting people like onto the show, not just like me and another person. It would be cool to get you and your wife on. That would be cool in the future.
Yeah, we're
brother.
down anytime, man.
Absolutely.
And I guess I'll see you later tonight at
Absolutely.
the club. And we'll continue talking shit just like this.
Absolutely,
So that'll be
brother.
the fun part. Thanks for having me, dude.
Absolutely. Thank
Appreciate
you, brother.
it. Thank you.
Cheers.
Man.
I'll be your